Hello, hello, my lovely League audience. Alright. Alright. We're gonna be playing Nunu in the jungle. And as soon as things load up, we're gonna get onto that rift. Alright, I'm just addicted to Nunu. This meta. Ugh. The addiction, the Nunu addiction, man. Alright, so let's talk about team comps here. Okay. Alright. So, Amumu knows what's up. I'm gonna try to pull something cheeky here. Where I still try to invade Nunu's camp. I still want that camp, darn it. Alright. J4 is not having it. I want your camp, Amumu! I'm gonna steal his other side. Alright, cat. Crazy person. Alright, so Mumu is totally taking his red first. I'm gonna pull it down here. Pull it down here. Gonna eat it up. Yeah. That's right, Amumu. Actually, I feel kind of, well, I do feel worrisome that he will go after my blue, but that's alright. I'd rather not compromise my jungling path here. Alright, gonna kite a little bit here. Eat him up. Alright. Kite a little bit over here. Alright. Instead of putting a point in Ice Blast, we're gonna take another point in Consume. I'm gonna pop on over. Alright, awesome. Mumu has yet to steal my guy here. Nice. Nice. I was just thinking about those stupid ads. It's like junglers hate me. Play Nunu, junglers hate me. Alright. Going to go after that dragon. Grab that, head out. Gnosis can even have a little buff. Alright, so now that we know that Amumu is over there, we're going to take advantage of it. Throw that board right there. There's Amumu. No, cat. Wow, I really don't like this cat right now. I'm sorry. That was incredible. Sure. Lead Amu to the drag and expect me to help you. I'll be reporting you later. Alright, so this person is getting instant muted. I usually don't bother with people who do things like that, but that was especially egregious right there. The fact that I was pinging her to stay away, and she still decided to do whatever she wanted. So I told her what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's pretty much where she's gonna go. I have no idea, no clue what she was thinking, bringing Amumu. But regardless, we're gonna try to work with this. But win or lose, that Katarina is gonna get punished for her action. See if we can get Scuttles here. They're going after. They're going after bot lane, so we'll try to scoop up as much experience as we can here. Oh, don't mind if I do. Interesting. But yeah, so wherever this game goes, I mean, it's hopeful that we have a Gnosis top. But listen to your teammates. Alright. The Gnosis is dead. Is he gonna live? Oh, he's gonna live. Wow. Right, way to go, Gnosis. Gotta get out of there. All right. Got no tower over there. Although Soraka is a tasty target to take care of. They're not going to pursue that because they saw me. I'm going to grab the scuttles over here. See if I can get Amumu. Alright, so I managed to knock Amumu's health down quite a bit. We might just go for dragon real quick. We'll see if we can do it. If Amumu... I might be dead though. Alright. Wow, ultra risky dragon there. I'm gonna stay far away from Cat there. That was so risky. Because I had no idea where those guys were gonna be. Alright, gonna get that, gonna get that. Gonna get that. So as far as farm is concerned, I've got 72 to Amumu's 41. Although the... Yeah, they'll have a hard time with me. Once I heal up damage. Now the J4 can just get out of my little ability here. Alright. He's just gonna go over. I probably, yeah, I shouldn't have used my ability there, but... Okay, we're gonna indicate that J4 is gonna be over there. Yeah, there he is. Pretty easy to detect. Alright, so we're gonna try to get this guy. Oh, I got it. Yeah. Alright. So we got that just because we're gonna ward over here. Because we have the, well, it's better than attempting to do anything down here. So we can go to bot lane or something when they're trying to kill Nasus. And just let this guy loose. Alright, so we're gonna get some of these items. Some of that, and then head out. Oh, right, awesome. So this isn't too bad of a time to actually use the Rift Herald. Hide here. Alright, we'll just leave. We'll just let this thing go. Not sure what that guy is thinking. Okay. Boy, the game is kind of turning around a bit. Right. Boy, did the game just turn around? Alright, so we're gonna get some warding out here. Warding there. We are gonna focus on Dragon. There's no point to fighting those guys. Not for me, anyway. Just be cool, guys. Ah, the double kill coming from the Nasus. Not bad. So this is when the enemy team says, what's happening, right? Alright, she's dead, but I got my objective. Which is all I care about. Alright, we have Baron up in 1 minute. Nice. Just wasted a teleport. They're going a little too ham and cheese here. Come here, Scuttles. Alright, so we're gonna clean up, well no, we're gonna get some wards up in their base. Alright. I'll the flash. Not about to get, Alright. Fine with me. I don't want that. Alright, maybe Cat will pick up some kills here. Oh no, not enough. They got us in an odd spot there. They actually comboed their abilities. Good job for them. Now, Baron, if they stay too long, if they decide to go for this and that, then we can go for Baron. Alright, so we need to pretty much start this immediately. Okay. So they should be dead. My guys didn't I should be dead here. Alright. Okay. Bot lane and everyone else needed to come do Baron right away. Not farm and then attempt Baron. I watched of you waste time. Just try to focus on my pings. Alright, so we're gonna get Scuttles here. Ward this up. And back off. Alright, I think they got this. Alright, I'm just gonna get Dragon. Nice, my man. Alright, this is gonna be a little... Okay, Rakan's got the base. Oh, they both lived. Awesome. Alright, we got our objective. Got a objective. Gonna head back. And gonna get that item. So that was a fight that we were able to do something about. Because their combo... Alright. MF is trying to lead us. See, well, they target me, that's fine. But the Soraka is providing a lot of healing coming. And the CC and all that too. Okay. Though this game might be over, the CC is enough to stop the Nasus from doing anything. That's nice. Nice ending. So they gained a little too much momentum in the beginning. I did lose a dragon, but I don't think that was the mainstay of the match. We came back in a big way. But their combination versus our combination, they had a better engage, and they had better, I think, control of the situation. I couldn't even get to the part of the game where I could build some magic resist so I can take TF's attacks. So they just pushed the early game too far. We shouldn't have engaged in a lot of the fights because we just weren't strong enough. And I mean, I don't feel like I should give this to anybody. But we didn't wait until little later on because they were still more powerful than us in the end. About a 10,000 lead gold, and that's pretty substantial. And I still didn't have like some of my core items, or like many of my core items. I had two main items. I was weak, so weak. Talia 2 items, our support 2 items. Nasus has, well, 2 items, yeah. And if you look at their team, TF has 2 items. Okay, so it's almost close, but I felt like they had more item advantage, something like that. The Raka was doing work with the heals, that's for sure. Yeah. So the Raka was just making those like particular fights hard because we couldn't take care of certain people, and it allowed for them to set up certain things like the MF ultimate. And where we should have been a little more methodic in those fights and gotten wards for the MF ult, because it's all too obvious as to how they want to combo their attacks. And interestingly enough, like if I'm out of there, like MF and Jarvan will use their abilities just on me, and they will get a good result because of it. And I think because they were as aggressive as they were, they knew that the late game would have been very difficult for them, and they already suffered a comeback from us by kind of throwing a wrench into their well, we had a bit of a comeback, but not an entire comeback. And but like our team comp was hard to get into. TF got got quite a lot of lead in the beginning. So yeah, some mechanical issues by everybody. As far as for me, like I shouldn't have committed a lot to some of these fights, and sometimes like for my mind, I'm usually trying to slow someone, but in this team comp, I could not get near Jarvan because he's going to do a lot of damage to me, and he's going to knock me up. He's going to get me in his little stadium ground, raised ground ultimate. And that's the mistakes that I was making. Normally, I'm used to using my Ice Blast to slow opponent down, and then just kind of feel out the situation, whether they return or I can go around them. But in this case, because they not only had the lead, but they had a lot of they not only had the lead, but they had a lot of CC, so they can protect their ADC forever. And so me trying to initialize fights, whether it was a fight that I thought I could just walk away from, which I couldn't because I wasn't identifying the fact that Jarvan could just trap me, and a lot of them had multiple forms of CC. That's the big mistake that I made here. It's trying to initiate fights where I should have been warding around possible spots of initiation. But yeah, that was my problem. The only time we could have ever initiated a fight is if we had full vision and I noticed they're split up or something like that. Something that I could notice. MF was kiting. There's a way you can do stuff like that, but I wouldn't say that you should kite as an ADC. Otherwise, you're kind of risking blowing your flash, or you're risking dying. And if you die as the ADC, that means you're going to prolong the game. You're going to enable us to get further into late game. You might cost your team a Baron, things like that. So the MF was playing a dangerous game with her abilities. If I could have got a slow on her at the right time or something. But yeah, we needed full vision on any fight beforehand, and we needed them to be split apart. And a couple of other things. The first Drake, now that didn't help because I believe Caitlyn, I and Caitlyn died, so that pushed the early game for them and gave them a dragon. That was a free dragon. I even pinned Kate away. I don't know what she was thinking. I mean, like, whether or not I come to help her, like, how risky is it to pull the enemy jungler near me? Okay, so how many risk factors are there? The jungler could steal the dragon. He did, but we're not talking about what he did and what happened. We're talking about possibilities. The worst case scenario did happen where we both died and the dragon was lost. So here's the possibilities when Kate decides to do something like that. I'm taking damage. I'm gonna keep taking damage for dragon. She's gonna take damage for dragon. There's 2 risk factors right there. Amumu can steal dragon. Bot lane just has to stroll over if there's like a small if there's a skirmish going on, and then mid lane just has to stroll over. Amumu's a tank. He's gonna survive a little while. So it's not to say that helping her was the wrong decision, but there was so many risk factors. That's like this. Let's say you want to cross the street, but it's not an ordinary street. It's a busy highway. Now, let's say you have just as many risk factors as we did. Meaning, let's say it's a small highway, maybe 3 or 4 lane, or maybe 3 lanes, 4 lanes, I don't know. If they probably get bigger than that, but let's say every so many times you got as many risk factors as we did in that fight. We probably had like 10 risk factors, like what could happen in worst case scenario? One person dies. Okay, that's still not really that good. One person dies and Amumu gets the dragon. I'm like, I had to blow my flash, so I blew my flash as well. And yeah, so that I mean that's about 10 risk factors. What could possibly happen? So many risk factors that why would you even try to do it? So you're on the highway, and your objective is to run across the highway, right? Let's say every so many minutes, cars drive, and they're driving at like 60 miles an hour, and there's about 10 cars, 10 risk factors. Now, there are times you can probably say, hey, I can probably make it. But holy heck, like, just hang on a minute. Why in the hell? You gotta ask yourself, why in the hell am I trying to cross a highway at all? Don't do it. Don't do things that are just risky. Do things that are safe. Now there's some excitement missing when you're not crossing a highway. There's certainly some excitement missing there. You're gonna get a bit of excitement crossing that highway. And so if I try to hit a help Kate, there would have been some excitement there. But let's say this. Let's say I help Kate. And now the dragon's hitting me. The dragon's hitting Kate, possibly. And the mid laner's now gone. And maybe bot lane comes. And it's like, well, should I stay for a little while, ensure that I die by possibly getting the dragon? You see, it's like the next stage doesn't help. It's almost like if we would have killed the Amumu, right? That's like on the highway. We passed a couple of cars, but our options, the next point, are pretty much we're gonna die. So it's like so if we managed to kill a Amumu, we would have almost made it to halfway across the highway. But at that point, we realized we're gonna die. Why? Things sure went south pretty hard. Things sure went south pretty fast. Where we were across the street and we're like, we got a good chance. We got a good chance just to get across the street. We don't know. I mean, it's fantastic to get across the street, let me tell you. But now that we're halfway across the street, now we're gonna die. Just across the street. Okay. All right, cat. Okay. So who knows? Who knows what the game could have been if cat would not have. I mean, it's like I said, it's nice to blame other people, but the thinking behind that is it's as a jungler, you play the risk game. You say, I've got so many risks, but what are the downside? Like, remember when I was trying to get that dragon that was Stone Dragon? What were the risks there? I could die, they could get a dragon. If they decided to float my way, and instead they went somewhere else. So the risk was I could die, they'll get some gold, but in the big scheme of things, the dragon is worth that amount of gold for the team. And they could also get the dragon and I die. But since they were in that area anyway, I figured they're going to get the dragon if they're going to come this way. And, you know, it's like, so I figured they're going to get the dragon anyway if they come this way. I could beat them to it. So there's a couple of risk factors involved. But me getting the dragon and me, like, dying or walking away, I felt like that was worth it. If I was... And if they would have got dragon and I died, of course that wouldn't be worth it, but weighing the risks. And fortunately, I got it. And, but yeah. Like, I tried to weigh the risks there. It was riskier on my part, but I felt like more of a desperation attempt needed to be conducted from me. Like, that was a desperate move. It was. But when Kat came near me, when she was in mid, she did not need to do that. She could have just strolled back into her lane. But she thought that... Yeah, well, anyway. So, risk factors. Just consider risk factors. Alright. But as far as what I'm guilty of is trying to do my Amumu thing where I just hit people with ice balls and then run around and maybe start a fight that way. I could not approach this game like that because of all the CC and the gap closer that Jarvan has. Again, I had to, anytime where we had any inkling of initiation, we would have to have full vision. And my brain was on autopilot. And that's the mistakes that I did. I wasn't respecting the fact of Jarvan and his gap closer. And the fact that they had a fairly good lead on us as far as early game. But even without that early game lead, I should not have done that with the Jarvan. Because I put our team in a precarious situation where they felt they needed to engage. And they have so much CC, Cat really can't combo. Alright, so we'll get to itemization. Dead Man's Plate, awesome item. On Nunu, you get speed, you get to get where you're going. And then I was building a Gargoyle Stone Plate, is another amazing item, which would have, if I would have built it, maybe have kept me alive. Probably not. Gnosis, he was getting up there, but they got so much momentum early on that they were able to destroy one turret after another, accelerating the game. Gnosis needs more farm than that to really, you know, become this tanky beast. And then we need to follow up with damage and whatnot. The Rakan and the Xayah, like the Xayah did okay, not especially well, but just as well as the MF did, so they're pretty even. The Rakan didn't do too well as far as the support, but he might have been going in a lot more times than he should have because of my mistakes or my initiation issues. And then Kat, I felt like she could have been instrumental in coming back. And that's one of the reasons. Oh yeah, we got to report Kat. That's right. So we're gonna do that right now. Let's see. I know it was verbal harassment. Now the intentional feeding, I would say it's an intentional feed because I pinged her away and she just didn't listen. So she was intentional with her demand. Like if I said nothing towards her and she thinks, you know, that would be just a mistake on her part. But me pinging her away and not changing her route, that to me is intentional. Intentional feed earlier on in the game. This champion also used language. We'll give it more the specific name that they like to use. Use offensive. So it's right here. Language. I don't know about you guys, but every time I spell language, it is a weird word. And then we're gonna say thanks, Riot. All right, A+. But yeah, so when banning people, I always feel like it's a drop in the bucket, but it's like you can't ban everyone all the time, and I actually get, what do you call it, like I get tired of banning. But after a little while, I think it's okay to ban someone every now and then. Try not to ban people over little stuff. Language, I do not tolerate. So that's instant report. If I remember you later on or something like that. Instant report. And as far as intentionally causing problems, that's a big thing. So when you have 2 strikes against you, you're gonna leave an indent on my memory. And and then another reason why you want to report people, like not, you know, if you're upset or whatever, that's fine, but you shouldn't report people because of that. You should report people because of those kind of things, language and all that stuff. It also encourages you not to do the same thing. If you don't do anything to these people, what is to stop you from getting upset and using language yourself? Like your brain has to be able to say something is wrong and I need to correct it. What's the proper way to correct it? Is the proper way to correct it by getting back at the other champion? Like, well, your mother's a dirty goat. Is that proper? No, you're feeding the frenzy. So I said what I had to say, and Kat was gonna go on for like till the cow came home after that, but that's the beauty of the mute button. But yeah, so not only when you don't report people or when you don't go report crazy because you'll not care at some point, but reporting someone for something egregious or something that was just, you gave them a couple of tries or something, or you made it clearly, you clearly made it obvious, and they did it anyway. And I thought that was reportable by Kat. But I've talked enough about that. The MF has got 2 items, critical strike items. She's going to do a lot of damage with these things. And then also she's got her Zeal. So again, more critical strikes. So she's doing a lot of damage with her ultimate. Especially towards us because we are lacking a lot of item to manage that kind of damage. Like we would need a Locket of the Iron Solari to actually take all that damage, but we would need the game to go much further into the late. TF, he pretty much has he almost has a completed item. He just has like maybe an extra, I don't know, 1,000 if that gold to get a 3rd item. He actually, this is a little odd that he's got 2 items, but I think he's got enough gold. But his farm is his farm's a bit poor, but maybe not. I don't know. Top lane, a little behind Gnosis, but I would think this needs to be a little closer to 200. So the TF actually wasn't too good at focusing farm. But then again, fights were being initiated fairly regularly during that game, so maybe he saw the opportunity was elsewhere. The Amumu caught back up in farm, 98 in farm. Tank items. He's actually going a little bit offensive with the Abyssal Mask, and he's going to do a little more damage. And then he's got his Stone Plate, so he walks away in case he gets, in case he starts getting kited. In case he's just really low on HP. So yeah, Gargoyle Stone Plate on tanky champions is just so great because you can absorb a lot of damage. You can actually, you know, pop this item. You can be low on health and take a ton of damage, and maybe even have your team reinitiate when the enemy team has used their abilities on you and they weren't able to come away with a kill. And finally, the Soraka, keeping everybody alive. Now that was rough because it creates this situation where they have this consistency of initiation where we don't have any of that. Maybe the most consistency is coming from Gnosis. I pinged Gnosis to go back a few times. They would have. What I was predicting was he was going to be CC'd to infinity, and he did get CC'd to infinity. So that's it. So as far as my mistakes, I wasn't respecting the Jarvan combo with MF. And once I was out of the picture, how does my team even initiate? Even with Gnosis, how do they initiate, you know? But if we would have waited till late game, we would have had a better chance. And if things didn't progress in the early game like they did, but that sometimes happens. And you try to make the best of it. I was a bit dumbfounded by the cat and her decision, but we try to make the best of it. And I felt that getting Rift Herald, and we did come back a little bit, but in the end, it was not enough, and I was making mistakes and trying to initialize without really taking their team comp into account. So hopefully, I'm going to learn that in my next game. All right, guys. I hope you have a good day. I am signing out. Hey you.